Howdy, Cowboys Nation. Today's news is a real doozy for us Dallas fans, so buckle up because it's going to be a ride. Let me ask you, have you ever experienced that gut punch moment when a fan favorite moves on, and suddenly, you find yourself replaying their best highlights over and over in your mind? That's exactly where we're sitting right now, folks. Ezekiel Elliott, a name synonymous with Dallas Cowboys football for years, has officially packed his bags and moved on to the next chapter of his career. This news is hitting harder than a Zeke stiff arm, and it's stirring up all kinds of emotions among the Cowboys faithful. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty details of what's next for both Zeke and the Cowboys, let's take a little stroll down memory lane to celebrate the unforgettable moments this man brought to our team. What's your favorite Zeke moment in a Cowboys jersey? Was it that insane leap over a defender, where it seemed like he had literal springs in his cleats? Or maybe it was one of those jaw-dropping bulldozing runs that flattened entire defensive lines like a freight train barreling through a snowdrift. Perhaps it wasn't even a specific play, but rather the raw passion, charisma, and fire he brought to the field every single Sunday. Whatever your favorite moment is, drop it in the comments below. Let's relive those incredible times together while we unravel the rest of this story. Now, here's the big scoop that's got the NFL world buzzing. Just last week, the Cowboys front office made a decision that sent shockwaves across the league. Ezekiel Elliott, our beloved workhorse and one of the most iconic figures in recent Cowboys history, was released. It wasn't just a simple transaction. It was a monumental shift for a franchise that has long relied on Zeke as the cornerstone of its offense. Why did they do it, you ask? Well, according to Team Brass, it wasn't about cutting ties. It was about creating new opportunities. With the Cowboys officially out of playoff contention this season, management wanted to give Zeke the chance to join a contending team where he could chase his dreams of winning a Super Bowl. And wouldn't you know it, Zeke didn't waste a moment. He quickly found a new home with the Los Angeles Chargers. That's right, folks. Our number 21 has traded in his iconic star for a bold lightning bolt. It's bittersweet, isn't it? On one hand, we're proud to see him getting another shot to shine on a team with serious playoff potential. On the other hand, it's tough to imagine the Cowboys' backfield without him. But this move isn't just about Zeke leaving. It's about what this means for the Cowboys' future. With Elliott's departure, the team has freed up crucial cap space that opens the door for a complete reimagining of the offensive strategy. This could be a pivotal moment for Dallas to build something fresh, fast, and dynamic. The question now is, who will step up and take the reins as the Cowboys' new offensive leader? Is Tony Pollard ready to carry the load as the primary running back, or will the Cowboys look to the upcoming draft to find a rising star to fill the void? Losing a player like Zeke isn't just about stats or game day performance. It shakes the entire identity of Cowboys football to its core. For years, Ezekiel Elliott wasn't just another player on the roster. He was the heart and soul of our ground game, the one who struck fear into defenses and gave the Cowboys their offensive edge. His departure marks the end of an era, one defined by his explosive runs, iconic hurdles, and infectious energy. But as tough as it is to say goodbye, this also marks the beginning of a new chapter for Dallas. The NFL is evolving into a league where pass-heavy offenses dominate, and this could be the perfect opportunity for the Cowboys to pivot toward a more modern, dynamic offensive strategy. That means all eyes are now on Dak Prescott, who will need to step up and lead this team into its next phase. The pressure is on like never before, and it's going to take a Herculean effort from Dak, the coaching staff, and the front office to rebuild and reestablish the Cowboys as true contenders. Meanwhile, Zeke is off to the Chargers, starting on their practice squad. But don't let that fool you. This is a fresh start for him, and maybe it's just the spark he needs to reignite his career. With Justin Herbert at quarterback and a talented offense surrounding him, Zeke has the chance to prove that he's still got plenty left in the tank. And here's a fun tidbit for Ohio State fans. Zeke will now share the backfield with fellow Buckeye J.K. Dobbins, creating a dynamic duo that's sure to make headlines. Back in Dallas, though, the questions are piling up. Did the Cowboys let Zeke go too soon? Could he have thrived in a different role within the team? And how's it going to feel when the Chargers come to AT&T Stadium next season, with Zeke lining up on the other side of the field? This move clearly signals a new chapter for both the Cowboys and Elliott. While Dallas is focusing on building a younger, faster core for the future, the Chargers are banking on Elliott's experience and leadership to add depth and firepower to their roster. If Zeke catches fire in LA, it'll be hard not to feel a little sting of regret here in Dallas. But for now, it's all about looking ahead and figuring out how the Cowboys can reclaim their spot among the NFL's elite. Let's dive deeper into what this move means for the Dallas Cowboys organization as a whole. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't just a player. He was a symbol. From the moment he was drafted 4th overall in 2016, he was destined to be a cornerstone of this franchise. His rookie season set the tone. 1,631 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns, and a dominant presence that helped the Cowboys secure a 13-3 record and the top seed in the NFC. From that point on, Zeke was the engine that powered the Cowboys' offense, carrying the ball with a mix of speed, power, and finesse that made him a nightmare for opposing defenses. But football is a business, and time waits for no one. As much as we'd like to hold on to our heroes forever, the NFL has a way of forcing teams to make tough decisions. Running backs, in particular, have a notoriously short shelf life. Their careers often peak early and decline rapidly due to the physical toll the position demands. For Zeke, the past few seasons have seen a noticeable drop in his production. His yards per carry have declined year over year, and injuries have taken their toll. Even so, the emotional attachment fans have to a player like Elliott can't be measured in stats alone. So, what's next for the Cowboys? The release of Ezekiel Elliott frees up much-needed cap space, but it also creates a gaping hole in the roster. Tony Pollard, who has shown flashes of brilliance, is poised to take on a larger role, but questions remain about whether he can handle the workload of a true RB1. Pollard's speed and agility are undeniable, but can he bring the same level of durability and consistency that Zeke brought to the field for so many years? And what about the draft? The Cowboys now have the flexibility to pursue a young, dynamic running back to complement Pollard or even take over the lead role. This year's draft class is loaded with talent, and with the right pick, Dallas could land a player who could become the next face of the franchise. But the pressure is on the front office to make the right moves, not just in the draft but throughout the offseason. The Cowboys can't afford another misstep if they want to remain competitive in a stacked NFC. Let's not forget about the implications for the rest of the team. With Zeke gone, the spotlight shifts to Dak Prescott. The quarterback has always been the face of the franchise, but now more than ever, the team's success will rest squarely on his shoulders. Prescott has shown he can lead this team to victory, but he'll need to elevate his game to a new level if the Cowboys want to compete for a Super Bowl. That means more precise decision-making, better chemistry with his receivers, and the ability to adapt to a new offensive philosophy. And speaking of offense, this is a critical moment for the coaching staff. Head coach Mike McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer have the opportunity to reshape the team's identity. Will they lean into the NFL's trend toward pass-heavy offenses, or will they stick with the ground-and-pound approach that defined the Cowboys during Zeke's tenure? Either way, they'll need to find a balance that maximizes the talent on the roster while keeping defenses guessing. Meanwhile, Ezekiel Elliott's new journey with the Los Angeles Chargers brings its own set of questions. While he's starting on the practice squad, it's clear the Chargers see potential in what he brings to the table. Playing alongside quarterback Justin Herbert and a talented group of playmakers like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Ekeler, Zeke has the chance to be part of a high-powered offense that could go deep into the playoffs. For Elliott, this move isn't just a change of scenery. It's a chance to prove that he's still one of the best in the game. Critics may point to his declining numbers, but Zeke has always thrived on proving doubters wrong. If he can recapture some of the magic that made him one of the league's most feared running backs, it could be a storybook ending to his career. And for Ohio State fans, seeing Elliott reunited with J.K. Dobbins is a dream come true. The two Buckeyes have the potential to form one of the most dynamic backfield tandems in the league. But let's bring it back to Dallas for a moment. The emotional impact of Zeke's departure can't be overstated. For years, he was more than just a player. He was a symbol of hope, determination, and the relentless spirit of the Cowboys. From his iconic "Feed Me" celebration to his fiery leadership on the sideline, Elliott embodied what it meant to be a Cowboy. His departure isn't just the end of an era. It's a reminder of how quickly things can change in the NFL. As fans, we're left to grapple with the big questions. Did the Cowboys make the right decision in letting Zeke go? Could they have found a way to keep him in a reduced role? And how will it feel to see him in a Chargers uniform when LA comes to AT&T Stadium next season? There's no denying it's going to be a surreal moment, one that will stir up a mix of emotions for Cowboys Nation. But as much as we'll miss Zeke, it's time to look forward. The NFL waits for no one, and the Cowboys have a golden opportunity to reinvent themselves. With fresh cap space, a talented roster, and a passionate fan base hungry for success, Dallas is poised to make some noise in the offseason. Whether it's through the draft, free agency, or a blockbuster trade, the front office has the tools to build a team that can compete with the best in the league.